the revision of what we did in the previous week's lectures. Now is the thing that we are starting to look at this week's content. I hope my screen is visible and voice is also audible. We're talking about breadth first search. As the slide reads, breadth first search always expands the shallowest unexpanded node. So I need to find out in my fringe list which is the node which is shallowest and which is unexpanded. Then I check whether that is a goal node or not. That is, I do a goal test on that node. If the goal test is positive, I stop algorithm there and there itself, return the solution by computing it. Okay. Now consider that G node is the node that I'm searching for in the problem. So initially, if A is my initial state, A will be in the queue that I'm maintaining as a fringe list. Okay. So I will just bring A out and I expand it. Say suppose there are two actions A1 and A2 that lead to generation of the next state. So there are two actions. This is A1 and this is A2. And if I apply these two actions, there are two nodes which are generating. So this is the application of transition model or the successor function. So if I'm talking about in terms of function, it will be application of successor function. So when I apply successor function to node A, I will just check what are the possible actions. When I apply those actions, what are the resultant states the environment turns into. So I get B and C as the successor nodes, and since I've already pulled A out from my list, now I have two nodes to secure into the list, and they are B and C. Okay, so this actually diagram shows multiple steps together, but what will happen first is B and C will go sit in the list, and the next step would be to select either B or C out of the list. Now one thing important that we need to understand is when I'm expanding shallowest unexpanded node, general tendency is to pick the leftmost node or pick the node which is having alphabetically lower value. If the numeric values are there, whichever is the numeric value less, that node I pick up from the same generation. So I'm talking about B and C node, which both belong to same generation. So I can house them in the queue as BC or CB. And to avoid any confusion, even in examination, if this comes as a question in IA or somewhere else, you should remember that you will keep them in the order of alphabets if the nodes are in the same generation. If the nodes are not in the same generation, no issues. Okay. Now what will happen is, since I'm storing them in sequence BC, B comes first in alphabet, then C. So the next node to expand or test is B. So I'll pick B out from the queue. Now only thing remain in fringe queue is C. B is tested for being a goal node. It's not a goal node. We know that G is the goal node we are looking for, say. Then we will actually throw B out, and before throwing it out, we'll expand B. As I expand B, we'll generate D and E. Now, since C is already housed in the queue, okay, and two new nodes, D and E, are supposed to go inside the queue, first decision would be D will come first before E, but D, E both will go after C because C is a node at a shallow depth level. Okay, C is at depth level 1, whereas D and E are at depth level 2. So C will be ahead of D and E. So that is how we decide that we put D here and then we put E here. We have already taken B out. So the queue only has right now C, D and E. These three nodes are there in the queue. Okay. So next time what will happen is this red arrow will mark C and not D because we are marking level wise. Okay. So one thing to remember when you are tracing out the search path on the search tree, it would trace out always like this. Okay. In this direction. So it will first test A, then B, then C, then D, then E, then E, F, and then G. So this is the sequence in which it will search out the entire tree. So that is what happens. C will be explored. At this time, when we are exploring C, D and E are already in the queue. So see how they are mentioning. This is actually not looking properly because the diagram is a bit expanded or zoomed out, but these are double circles, or what you can say, bold circles, D and E and C, because all the three nodes C, D, E, they are in the fringe list. These dotted nodes are the nodes which are unexplored yet, but they will be part of the tree, and these are solid lines, whereas these are dotted lines. Okay, A, B, they are already explored nodes, and that's why they are not having double circles or bold circles. This is how they have shown in the book. You can adopt any other mechanism as well for showing out how the traversal of search goes on. Okay, so that is up to you how you do it, but the meaning should be conveyed. If such problem is asked as one of the question in some IA or some end-sem examination where you are given a problem, and for that you are asked to show how breadth first search will find out the goal node. Okay, so you'll after C you will take out D. Okay, after looking at C, what will you do is you'll actually add F and G into your fringe list. So your fringe list is now the entire def 2 nodes, D, E, F and G. Okay, and D will be taken out. Later on E will be taken out. Okay, they have actually not continued it further, but you can imagine. And since probably for that this particular problem there is no child nodes of D, I'm not adding anything to my queue. So ultimately मेरा queue पहले एक नोड था, फिर उसमें थोड़े ऐड हो गए नोड. Sometimes it can actually grow, sometimes it can actually shrink, and as you look at, you will actually remove D, then you will remove E, then you will remove F. Ultimately you will remove G. Q is empty, and the last node that you are removing is G. G is the goal node, so goal test there will satisfy. And as I told you earlier as well, when I actually look at the G node will know its parent node. So G node में क्या क्या information है? It knows that C is its parent. It knows that there is action 5 that when applied to scene state made you to reach the state G. ये information G के data structure में stored है, और stored होना चाहिए तो ही आप solve कर पाओगे. G is at depth level 2. This information is also useful. And the path cost, say such a abstract problem, path cost could be the count of actions required to reach the node. So I can consider this to be one action, this to be second action. So the path cost also will be 2. Important thing to understand is whenever I'm doing breadth first search, I do not use the path cost anyhow. I don't require that. I just maintain that information in general because I may have created a generic class that has all that information in the node class object, but I may not use it for breadth first search, or I really do not use it for breadth first search, I should say. Okay, now going back to the next thing, we'll revisit this slide. I just need to go to the next search algorithm. Yeah.